Now, a lot of you guys think that Alex got his no fucks given kind of attitude from me. Oh, you could not be more wrong. That attitude has been present long before I met him. His mother is Latina, like straight up Latina, comes from Mexico, Latina. Not these American Latinas where I know more Spanish than they do. I'll give you a prime example of I don't give a fuck attitude that my Latina wife has. So my wife works in the same exact restaurant that I do, and this restaurant caters more towards Indian people from India. And, well, Indian culture and customs are very different from ours here in the United States, and miles apart from Hispanic culture. Anyway, my wife runs the expo line at the restaurant, and occasionally she'll bring out food to tables. And on this day, she ran food to a table that was very old school Indian. And what I mean by that is they don't really treat women the best, at least not out in public. My wife, with the plate in her hand, walks to the table and says, "Who ordered the tandoori chicken?" And she was met with absolutely no eye contact and absolutely no communication. They fucking ignored her. She asked again, same result. And because they didn't answer her, she said, "Screw it," and started turning around, walking away with the food. I see her walking away with the food, and I stop her, and I'm like, "Hey, what's wrong?" They didn't want to answer me, so I'm taking the food back. And as she's starting to walk away from me, a gentleman from that table stands up and, hey. My wife turns around with this look in her eyes. You know, the look that makes you feel ice cold inside and just scared? She looks back at the table and starts walking back towards that table with a walk that lets you know that you just fucked up. Seriously, the only thought going through my head is, you are so fucked. My wife gets back to the table and says, "Yes, how can I help you?" Now, she said, "Can I help you?" But really it sounded like, "What the fuck do you want?" And again, she was ignored, and the guy looks past her, looks at me and says, "Excuse me?" "You're on your own, fuckboy." My wife gets in his line of sight and says, "No, I am right here, pendejo." With my wife's eyes locked on his, he says, "How dare you speak to me that way? Who are you?" And without even blinking, my wife says, "I am the bitch who puts little dick men like you in their place." Oh my God. Enjoy your chicken and try not to choke on the bone, pendejo. Ooh, somebody forgot to tell this asshole, never try a Latina.